James Tavernier, reports coming out of Turkey that his former Rangers manager Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, of course now Besiktas manager, is closing in on a deal for Tavernier, and that's generated quite a big response on our social media outlets. I'll throw a couple at you just to kind of gauge the mood. Alistair Ramage says, hopefully Tavernier is off any day now. Gordon Ferguson follows it up with, Tavernier can neither read the game, nor has any pace, nor has any leadership qualities. Appreciate the goals, etc., but the amount we've leaked because of him outweighs that total. However, on the other side, James Cooper says, he goes and will be worse off. That would mean Dessers has to score in every game. And Norrie Morrison follows it up with, all the abuse is a bit sad. He did a lot for our club, from the lower levels to winning a title again. It must be tough to have your own turn on you in such a brutal way. I genuinely, Swanee, I feel really sorry for James Tavernier, because I definitely think he's reached the point where he maybe has lost a yard or what have you, but he doesn't deserve to be, as that caller says, to be turned on in the way he has been.
No, I said this on Hotline Live last week, Daniel, to Keith, that James Tavernier might not be at the levels he was at before, but he's been a brilliant servant for Rangers, and I'm certainly not one who would think that James Tavernier should be hounded out the door, because, listen, I was the first one to say after the game at Celtic Park that you really have to seriously consider whether James Tavernier should be picked in that position again to play against Celtic, because clearly Dyson Maeda has fried him, and it doesn't cope with it. However, there is a large number of games in the Scottish domestic scene where Rangers will dominate the ball, and James Tavernier's delivery and goal-scoring abilities are going to be really important. So I would see no reason to. I agree with the hotline call that's come in about Rangers would be worse off if he's not there. I think they would be.
I agree.
The one thing I would add on it is, and actually, there was a story today with Chris Wilder at Sheffield United losing his rag over the transfer window, and the fact that it started and doesn't finish until after the fixtures are finished. Now, it's bad enough that there's some uniformity that brings it to a close in most countries when 3 or 4 league fixtures have already been played. It's beyond ridiculous that it's extended to other countries.
Aye.
Then they can sign players. I mean, it's farcical that this story can even be around, and the fact that James Tavernier, Rangers don't have to sell, of course, but it's ridiculous that that situation could arrive. There will be clubs around Europe who are going to lose players to Turkey and don't have an ability to go and sign someone because their transfer window's closed. I mean, whoever's organising this, Chris Wilder's absolutely spot on. As I say, it's bad enough, but I get it. All seasons are staggered and they don't all start at the same time. So I get it. Okay, you can't have it that the transfer window closes before every league starts, because that's not going to work. But this situation where certain countries are still allowed to sign, it's preposterous that this situation should even have arisen. Once August the 30th come, that should be the end of it. James Tavernier should be there until January. And that's it. Or whatever, December the 31st or whatever. I think it's just mad. But I still believe James Tavernier would be a loss to Rangers.
I completely agree. I mean, what was it, 27 goals last season or what have you?
Where are all the other goals coming from? It's all of a sudden for guys who would rather James Tavernier wasn't there. I get it. The Old Firm game, he's gone it right back. For me, he's gone it right back. Europe will have to see how that transpires in the Europa League matches. Maybe it'll be the same there too. But there's certainly so much domestic football that we played, and Rangers are short of bodies as has.
If you were in his shoes, Swanee, would you look for a move if it's there? Or would you stay?
If I was him, after what I've had to deal with over the last week or so, I probably wouldn't mind heading off to the sunshine of Turkey, to be quite honest with you. I mean, there's not really much else for him to do here. He's been in a European final with Rangers. He hasn't won anywhere near the trophies that a Rangers captain should be for the amount of time he's been there, or the amount of trophies a Rangers player should be for the amount of time he's been there. But yeah, I think he's done plenty. Me personally, after being, it seems to be he's now a whipping boy. He is now one of the ones who's going to get it. Serial loser, all of that stuff that gets put in his direction. So if I was him, I would probably go. But you listen to James Tavernier talk. Listen, players have always got to say this in public. So I don't know what James Tavernier says in his living room and no one else can hear it, but he always says that he's in it for the long haul. And he's no intentions of going anywhere. So we'll just have to take him at his word.
Aye. For what it's worth, I thought it was really bad that stick he took after the game at the weekend or last weekend. But I guess we'll see what happens. Aye, outside the stadium, I thought the fan.
Any player should be subjected to that. It's disgraceful.
Aye.
Well, what does that achieve?
I know. But not even that though. What I mean is, you're completely right. Any player that has to put up with it shouldn't have to put up with that. But I just think particularly Tavernier. You know, he's been a brilliant player for Rangers, top scorer in Europa League when they got to the final. You know, captained them to the 55th title, won every trophy. I thought that was really out of order.
Listen, every supporter who pays his season ticket money and pays his money to watch Rangers is entitled to say, "You're gone, you're finished, you're past it." That's different from screaming at his face.
Aye, I know.
I don't think that's necessary. Aye, you know, you can give a bit of heckling for the stands or whatever, but I'm not sure that's. And I have to say, I have to be honest. For what I'm told, you know me, Daniel, I'm not a social media type character, but for what I'm told, the response to that from fellow Rangers fans was very heavy in the sense of cut that out. That's
aye. I think it was.